Hey guys, I am back with part 2 of my March 2019 project share. In this video I will be going through all of the projects that I made with the Forever in Time Perfect Prince birthday blast pad. I had it for like a year and a half, 2 years, and I wanted to use it up since I was making birthday themed stuff anyways, so this is the next batch of projects that I'm going to share with you. So I made a number of cards with this paper pad and some scraps and other things as well, but mostly this paper pad. I made 35 cards in all. Some of them I'm pretty proud of and some of them not so much, but I wanted to show everything, both the stuff that I'm proud of and the stuff that didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. So I just wanted to show sort of like the process of, you know, wow, that ended up turning out really nice, and wow, that ended up turning out crappy. So this one kind of turned out in between for me. Part of the problem I found with this pad is a lot of the designs are quite busy, so I was having some trouble with sort of figuring out like how to embellish them without making the card either too busy or taking away from the paper itself. I also found that the paper itself was kind of juvenile, so that sort of made the cards juvenile, which isn't bad. I mean, little kids like birthday cards and stuff like that. But yeah, so some of them I've kind of struggled with because I think I prefer making more, not necessarily mature cards, but just less juvenile, if that makes any sense. But I don't know, we'll see how things go as my crafting progresses. So this one is just one of the purple sheets from the pad. It's on a hot buy card from the card set that I have. And then it's just got, like I said, the paper. These are both Dollar Tree stickers, and these are bows from the Let's Celebrate collection that I featured in the last video. These are two more made with the purple paper. I'm not loving how they came out. Part of the issue was, like, I'm trying to learn different techniques, and not all of the techniques end up being my style, at least the way I implement them. I saw some videos where people were using stickers like in giant clusters like this, and they made it look really good. I'm not quite there yet. So the majority of the stickers on these are Dollar Tree stickers. I think pretty much all of them are. I think these pearls are from the Let's Celebrate collection, but everything else, yeah, everything else is Dollar Tree stickers. Again, not loving these. I mean, maybe there's some people's taste. I don't know that they're necessarily mine, but they were experiments, so you can only learn by experimenting. These two I like a bit better. They came out pretty cute, in my opinion. Again, it's pretty much all Dollar Tree stickers and then some buttons from the Let's Celebrate collection. Again, it's the same paper on the same cards. I think it came out kind of cute. Again, I kind of struggled with letting the paper do the work, but also not letting it be too plain. I think it came out okay. I do love this line. It's very cute. Then the blue paper in the pad, at least the blue with the balloons, is another one that's very busy, so it's hard to know how to use it. So again, this is all Dollar Tree stickers on top, and they're on hot buy cards again. I tried to make the design as similar as possible, but I only had one set of some of the stickers. So like this sticker with the bears and the bear and the banner there, I had two sets of, but I think I only had one set that had like these pop-up stickers on them. I just happened to have two of these hats, and then but I had to use different balloons and different stars, and then these are the Martha Stewart stars as well. I mean, this is kind of another one in the middle category where I don't love it, but I don't hate it either. It's just kind of what happened. This is another one where I tried to just make do with what I had as far as having matching stickers. Again, I had enough to have two of these banners and two of these hats, but I had different birthday sentiment stickers. And again, I had enough to have double of the hats here, although I didn't line them up quite like I thought I did. And then I just embellished with some sequins that I had gotten. Well, some of them I got in an SCT sampler kit, in the March kit. It was like confetti inside the package. And then I fleshed it out with some sequins from my own stash to sort of match things up. And then this one, again, ended up being kind of a haphazard collection of stickers. I tried to cluster it more in the middle. I don't really know if it worked or not. Again, everything here is Dollar Tree stickers except for these two stars. They're from the Martha Stewart chipboard that I used previously. I like how these two came out. I think they're pretty cute. Again, this is a paper that was kind of harder to use than I thought it would be because the decoration is all at the bottom, but it's also like, it's pretty tall for like being a border. I guess if I had trimmed it better, or not trimmed it better, but like had paid more attention, I should have maybe trimmed more of this off so it became more of a border, as opposed to, I think I left the whole design there and just trimmed off the red at the top. I think in hindsight I should have trimmed off more of this so it was more just a border along the bottom as opposed to this big wide thing. but I think I made it work for some of them. Like I said, these stickers are really, really cute. They're Dollar Tree stickers. The bows are from the Let's Celebrate collection, and then I tried making little banners with those washi tape, the washi pages from Dollar Tree. Unfortunately, they don't stick very well, so that was a bit of a problem. I think I managed to glue them down, but I got turned off on using them as anything other than one long strip very quickly, trying to make them into banners because they just wouldn't stick. So that's a word to the wise. If you want to use those like you would normal washi tape, don't. They're stickers, they're not washi tape. But I still think it turned out pretty cute, and like I said, I just love this giraffe. It's so cute. These two, again, I started with making banners out of that washi tape, washi strip thing, and then I ended up covering up the banner part, so I'm not really sure what the point of that was, but again, this was just using up some Dollar Tree stickers to embellish it. And then the last red card, that's just the red full sheet, is again an attempt at doing a bit of a sticker cluster. I think this one worked out better because between the banner and the wide border at the bottom, it sort of forced the cluster into one spot, whereas the other clusters I was trying to make, it was like I had the whole card to figure it out, and I didn't really figure it out, so I think this one did work better. I totally forgot to mention, the red cards are made with Michael's cardstock. They're not the Hot Buy card bases. I had to make the bases myself, and then because the paper is quite dark, I had to put a piece of white paper in the inside, like just white cardstock, just cut it to the same size as the base, so that there's somewhere to write your sentiment or your message or whatever. So now we're back onto the Hot Buy card bases again, using the green paper from the paper pad. I found I was doing the same thing with this paper pad as I did with the Let's Celebrate collection, where I was I put the more neutral cards aside to use later, because obviously the stuff that's clearly birthday related should be the stuff I use birthday sentiments and birthday embellishments on first. So this is one of the ones that got done last because it was a neutral base, and I struggled with it because I didn't have a lot of green stuff left. I had a bunch of birthday stuff, but not a lot of green stuff. So I ended up going with these burlap and newsprint stickers from Dollar Tree. I had some of the green ones left, or the ones that had green on them, like the balloon and the hat there. And then I figured that brought in the brown enough that I could then get away with putting some of the other burlap stickers and this craft sentiment sticker on it as well. And then I was able to use what was left of the green pearls from the Let's Celebrate collection to just bring the green sort of back in. I had enough to do the same pearl things here, but then I only had one left of this size, so I just took the last two tiny ones and put it there. Otherwise, they're pretty much the same card, and I'm pretty happy with how these turned out. I was a little nervous when I was making them because there's no brown on the card. I was like, is the brown gonna look weird? But I think because there's green and brown here and then just the green there, it kind of ties it all together pretty well. And then this one again, it's on a Hot Buy card base, and then again, because I was running out of green stuff, I was already looking at cutting up the card that I got in the SCT sampler kit, the March kit. It had this card from the Crepe Paper Hooray collection. I think that's what it was called. Yes, it was Crepe Paper Hooray, I believe. And it had just like a card. And I already thought to myself, I'm probably going to cut this up and use all the presents and stuff as embellishments, as opposed to just using it as a card. That's exactly what I ended up doing. So I cut out basically all of the green and green tint presents, of which there were quite a few on that card, and then just popped some of them up on foam tape. These two are on foam tape, the rest are flat. And then I also cut out the sentiment and kind of cut it out messy to match the font, as well as the drawings are not exactly symmetrical or anything either, so when I cut them out, I kind of cut them out messy, and then just stuck the sentiment on foam tape as well. I think it actually turned out better than I thought it would, so I'm pretty proud of this one. Moving on to the yellow happy birthday paper. Again, these are the Hot Buy cards. I struggled with this background as well. I think that was part of the problem with this paper pad, is so many of the designs are so busy that I really struggled with how to properly make cards out of them. In this case, the background is very, very busy. It says happy birthday in a number of different fonts, but it's light yellow with white on top, so it's busy, but it's also pale, so it's like you can't just let the paper be because it's so pale, but then it's also so busy that you can't embellish it too much. So I struggled with it, but these two I really ended up liking. Again, it helps that the stickers are adorable. Everything here is Dollar Tree except for the two bows from the Let's Celebrate collection, and it just so happened that it had this yellow cheesecake thing happening here, so that worked out really well. And then this yellowish little squirrel. I ended up having stickers that went really well with it. I think the banner was helpful to break it up. I think I did pretty well with this one, is balancing the busy but also paleness of the paper with embellishing it but not overdoing it. And then after I made those last two cards, I ran out of the yellow card bases. And I didn't have any yellow cardstock like that was big enough to make a card base out of, so I originally made white card bases just out of plain white cardstock, and I found it washed this paper out even more, to the point that it was really like hard on my eyes to have the yellow paper that's so pale on top of white. So what I ended up doing was I found this yellow cardstock, I believe it is from Dollar Tree as well. I found it in my stash, so I pulled it out and I cut the yellow to the card base size, which is 4 by 5 1/4, and then I cut these down to a bit smaller. I can't remember what it was. I cut them down to smaller and then was able to mount the yellow on the white and the paper on the yellow, and I feel like that sort of balanced it out better. And then again, I was struggling with how do I embellish this and not overwhelm the whole thing, and I think what ended up really helping as far as sentiment was I pulled out that DCWV tag stack that we got from Dollarama last year with all those punch out tags, and I realized that this tag in particular, which was just blank, actually fit pretty well in this spot. So what I ended up doing was pulling out this Dollar Tree stamp, and I just stamped the sentiment on the tag and then adhered the tag. And I think that sort of gave it a focus point. So like you've got all this stuff floating. Again, these are all Dollar Tree stickers again. Then you've got the focal point there. And I actually am really happy with how these turned out. And then I had one more card made with the white card base and then the yellow and then the yellow paper. And I didn't have any more stickers to make a second, or rather a third card of that last design. So I just did what I could with what I had left on the Dollar Tree stickers. There were 2 of these banners, but they wouldn't fit. I thought I could like put one here and then put one here, but it looked really dumb. So I ended up just trimming this down to make it go off the page. And again, I just stamped on a tag from that tag set and just put it there as a focal point. And again, I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. Then I moved on to using up my scraps. Again, I stuck to the same kind of design as I did with the scraps from the Let's Celebrate collection, where I took 2 of the 2x6, turned them down to 2 by 5 1/4, and then just took another 2x6 and then put it over top, again trimmed down. I actually made the card base out of Michael's cardstock, and then again, because this paper is also busy, I didn't want to do too much with it for embellishment, but again, these stickers from Dollar Tree had pretty much all the colors in it that I needed. And then again, I used some buttons from the Let's Celebrate collection just to sort of pull it all together. I think it worked out really well. And then this paper, I know you haven't seen it yet, the one with the stars, and I'll explain that in a minute, why I have scraps, but I haven't shown you a card with it yet. Again, I have scraps of the star paper, and I used a scrap of a different paper, which would be in an upcoming video, what I did with that piece. It wasn't part of the pad, obviously. And actually, I guess I should have put this in a video with my STT sampler stuff, because I think, all of the embellishments are STT sampler, and I think the paper might be, but I'm not entirely sure. The embellishments, again, this was a die cut from the March SCT sampler kit, and then these were the rest of the presents on that card I mentioned earlier that I cut up to use as ephemera. So it's all just popped up on foam tape, and again, I think it came out pretty cute. These again were cards that I struggled with because both sets of scraps are so busy, and I didn't want to put a busy scrap in the middle when the green paper is so busy. The problem is I had more green paper than I had anything that coordinated with it scrap wise, and basically the only scrap I had that had this green in it was this one with the balloons, so I had to go with that. And then again, I tried to make borders with that washi sticker stuff, and it just didn't really work out well. The stickers are cute. This is all Dollar Tree stickers. I think when I pull out busy paper now, I need to pull out some like coordinating calm paper to like use with it, so I'm not stuck with all these busy patterns together. Now these ones I thought turned out really cute. I used the scraps from the red candle paper and then the scraps from the yellow paper as well, and then just some Dollar Tree stickers that ended up coordinating really, really well, and I thought these turned out really adorable. And then this one, not so much. This was another one where I had more scraps of the purple paper than of the balloon paper, and the only other paper that had like noticeable purple on it was the balloons. So I ended up putting the balloon strip in the middle, and then again I kind of struggled with how to embellish it without covering up too much paper and making it too busy. Again, I don't know that it really worked. The first sticker I put down was the Let the Party Begin because it's purple, and then I kind of struggled with, well, how else am I going to embellish this? So I tried only putting stuff in two corners, these Martha Stewart embellishments, and then just leaving these corners as like their own embellishments, and then just filling the middle with stickers. Again, I don't know if it really worked. It was sort of a failed experiment. And here we have more of that design that I said was coming up, as far as having a strip on one side and then the circles on the Happy Birthday stamp. In this case, I had a couple of the purple scraps left, but nothing really to do with them, so I was able to make one of this card with this design. I was able to make 3 of these cards. I'm just showing you one because it's so bright. I don't want to blind you by putting all 3 on screen. But again, I had a bunch of these strips left. But again, if I cut them into circles, I felt like it was so pale that it would be kind of a stupid looking design. But I did have a bunch of scraps of the yellow cardstock, so instead of just using my regular 1-inch circle punch, I also used my scalloped punch. So I made 2 regular circles and 3 scallop circles just to give it a little bit more interest, because the paper being used for the circles is just plain. And yeah, I was able to make 3 of these cards. And then this card was supposed to be the same design with the stripe up one side and circles down the other side. But this paper is very flimsy. It's like thinner than copy paper almost. I mean, it's dollar store paper. It's only going to be so thick. And unfortunately, my circle punches do not like punching through the thin paper. And it just didn't work. I ended up ruining the circles. And in this case, I had no blue paper left to make more circles with. So then I ended up just putting down, like still putting down the strip and the stamp. But then I just used a tag from the Let's Celebrate collection and covered the hole on it with a sticker from the Dollar Tree, as well as this Dollar Tree sticker as well. And then the flowers are all from the Let's Celebrate collection, and I think these pearls, I don't remember now if they're from the Let's Celebrate collection or if they're from my stash. I think they were the last few from the collection, but don't quote me on that. And then along with the 35 cards that I made, I also made 7 card bases. I made 2 that were on the green Hot Buy cards with the green paper, and then 5 on blue cardstock that I made into cards with the blue star paper. The reason that they didn't get made into actual cards is because they were, again, the more neutral ones. So I kind of put them to the side to embellish last once I'd used up all the birthday stuff. And basically by the time I got to these ones, I was pretty much burned out. I made, like I said, I've got more projects coming from this month. And I just got to the point where I couldn't think of anything to do with these. I also, this paper to me doesn't say birthday. It says like a little boy or baby boy. So I was kind of holding on to them to make like, you know, baby boy cards or little boy cards or whatever. So that's probably what I'm going to hold on to those for. And finally, I made one whole bookmark. So that's it for this part of the project share. Again, from the 12x12 paper pad, I managed to get 35 cards, 7 card bases, and 1 bookmark. There was a little bit of addition of scraps from elsewhere in there, but not much. Most of it was all from that one pad. So, like I said, I'm proud of how many I managed to churn out, even though I'm happier with some designs than others. I think this is definitely not a paper pad I would pick up again. It's just not really my style in hindsight, so it was harder for me to make cards that I was happy with. I do have some more cards coming up from other collections and stuff that I am happy with, so you'll see those in another video coming up. So that's it for this one. Again, if there were any here that you liked, that you think would either be something you'd be interested in purchasing or that you think someone else would be interested in purchasing, please feel free to let me know. Like I said, I am trying to get some sales probably through Instagram and YouTube first before I start to kind of shop. And again, I don't feel like a lot of these are gonna be big sellers, but I also know that my taste doesn't necessarily run the way other people's taste does, so who knows? So yeah, just let me know if you liked or hated any of these, and we can go from there. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Please give it a share. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and click that little bell in the corner to be notified when I next upload a video. And I will see you guys in the next one.